Hey, what's up guys? It's Keisha and Kiana again, here with another vlog, and we also have with us Lamar. Today's topic will be on being taken for granted. It sucks. How do you know you've been taken for granted?
In like relationships wise, I know I'm taken for granted when I'm giving more than I'm receiving. I believe that relationships are give and take. So if you take more than you give or give more than you take, there's not an equal balance in relationships.
Let's say being taken for granted like within close relationships or like within your family. They're so familiar with you that they don't appreciate you for who you are or like what you bring to the table, what you can bring, you know.
I would have to say work. Being rewarded for the good work that you do, going the extra mile, staying an extra 30 minutes, or coming in earlier when you're not supposed to be at work, right? You should be acknowledged for that. You should hear a thank you, right? And another one is like when you're supposed to get a raise. Like you said when I got hired that I was gonna get a raise every 6 months, right? So what's the problem? Like I shouldn't have to come in your office all the time.
Talking about a review.
Right. Give me my money. Don't make it 5 cents, okay? Obviously, they can relate too.
Seeing us as valuable, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
an asset to the team, right?
Yeah. What do you do when you're being taken for granted?
Well, first you have to acknowledge that you've been taken for granted. Acknowledge that you feel that way. Acknowledge that maybe the feeling isn't mutual. Maybe that in your workplace or in your family that you feel that way. You need to acknowledge that inside of you. Don't be ashamed of it. It's not a bad feeling at all. It's not like, oh my gosh, I'm so selfish because I'm feeling this way. Like, no, it's pretty normal because in human nature you want to feel loved, and this is a form of love that you feel when you are appreciated.
I believe communication should be another part. When you feel like you're not being appreciated, you should be able to express that with your words verbally to the person that's either giving you that the negative feeling or the negative energy. That you should be able to go up to them and have the much respect. They should have the much respect for you to hear what you have to say and to express that and make change based off what you have said.
Let's say that you should just change your perspective within the relationship at the time. It's not always that, oh, I'm being taken for granted. You have to also see from their point of view. So don't be selfish in your perspective. You know, see from their eyes and what you can do to make that relationship work.
After all the acknowledging and understanding that you are being taken for granted, you can go to those individuals and try to reset the boundary. Acknowledge to them that's how you feel and ask them to change. And if they don't want any change, then get the heck out of there. Like a relationship, that's easier done than a work job, right? You can't just keep dipping out every time. You ain't getting a raise, right? You know the balance in that or whatever, but at the same time, it's just like, yeah, you don't have to tolerate any of that either.
When you talk about like running from relationships or running from a job or something, and I used to always run from things, but I didn't know why I was running. I knew what I was worth, but I didn't know, like, I just had a negative feeling. It's like, I don't want to feel like this, and why? Because I knew I was worth more than just that negative feeling. I was worth being appreciated enough that to make me feel good, to give me inspiration, to inspire me, to make me feel like what I'm giving you is enough for you and for me. Not to the point where it's like I'm giving you everything that I don't have enough for me, but to the point where I'm giving you enough that I know my worth enough that what I'm giving you, you can give back to me because I love who I am. I love what I can bring to the table and what I have to offer. So once you know your worth, I think being taken for granted is no longer an option in your life.
So once you know your worth, being taken for granted is no longer an option. So it's definitely important to know your worth, within relationships. Know when you should leave and when you change those boundaries. And if things still aren't working, then get the heck up out of there. Know what you bring to the table. At the same time, so that's part of knowing your worth.
Some of them you have to know how to manage and live in those and maintain or whatever. That goes into the form of changing your perspective. All of those things you can't run from.
Maybe that's the relationship God wants to use to build your character, shape who you're created to be. But if you run from everything, then it's like, okay, man, I don't have enough time to really build or construct you to be who I want you to be. So even like saying change your perspective is a big thing, and being taken for granted, or even life overall.
What are some ways that you guys have been taken for granted? Tell us right in the comments below. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, you can subscribe right below. We thank you guys for watching this vlog, and we'll see you next time.